Hello, guys. Welcome back to Tell Me Something Good. I'm your host, Jackie.
And I'm Jelly.
And
Make sure you hit that subscribe button before we start.
follow us on TikTok, on Instagram. So today, Jelly, it's Thursday. Today feels weird shooting.
Yeah, it feels like Friday.
Yeah. And tomorrow is Good Friday. So that's probably what it is. So, Jelly, tell me something good that happened this week.
My something good. It's not a big deal, but I got a haircut.
Yes, it looks good. It looks so healthy.
Yeah, I feel like that's what I needed because I have thin hair. So when it gets long, if I put it in a ponytail, it's like this big.
No, I feel like you
I
don't
prob-
have thin hair.
It doesn't look when I get it cut, but when it gets long, it's really thin. So Saturday, I was like, I want a haircut. And I went to the nearest salon and I went blindly because I was like, oh, God. But I like it. She did a really good job, so I'll probably go back to her.
I love it. I think it looks healthy. At first, when I saw you, I thought you got like layers because I didn't see the back of it, but it looks really good. It makes you look younger.
That's what people keep saying.
Yeah, no wonder. We were at the gas station and they were like, "How old are you?" It didn't look like he believed her, but now I see it has. Maybe it was the haircut too. But what made you want to get a haircut?
I feel like I just needed it, and I don't know. I was so close to going shorter, like to here, just because I feel like it's just symbolizes a new start or letting go of, the past or whatever.
Yes.
But I didn't feel like crying, so.
No, they do say that when you get a haircut, it's
Yeah.
like you're cutting ties with like your past and what you went through with that hair is like
Yeah. Yeah, you tell me something good.
something good. Hang on. I feel like this thing's not loud.
Really?
Wait, let me see. How do I turn it up a little bit? Because I feel like I can. Okay, that's better.
Okay. It's your earphones.
Yes. Okay, that is a lot. I was like, I could hear myself, but not in here. I
Yeah.
could. All right. Something good that happened this week. Well, I just got back into baking. I love baking, and I forgot how much I loved it. And last week I made a banana cake and then a banana
I
bread.
saw that. I want the recipe.
Okay, I'm gonna make us one. Yeah, I'll send
Yes.
you the recipe. I got it on TikTok, but it is so good. But I remembered how like therapeutic it is to bake, and I just loved it. I remember when I lived at my parents' house, like that's what I would do, and I would always bake something for them. And I like doing it for other people too. I realize,
yeah.
like, I'll bake some and then I'll go take some to my parents or take some. So I'm like, maybe that's a love language that I forgot that I had.
And that's a really good hobby to have.
Yes. And then like I'm already looking up recipes and I want to keep trying different things. I'm not a cook though. I will say that. I do not cook. But something about baking, it's just it makes you feel good. To me, I love it. So next week I'm gonna make a cheesecake I used to make all the time. But the bad thing is that when I bake, I get a lot. And sometimes I start eat I need to stop. I'm like, I need to give this away.
Yeah, I think I tried the banana bread, but I didn't see the chocolate chip one, so I want to try that.
Oh, it is so good. So whatever I have left over, I'm gonna have to bring it to you
Yeah.
because I do take some to like my parents and my sisters and
Are you
and
into
then,
like cakes and stuff?
yeah. So, but not decorating.
Yeah.
Like this Friday, tomorrow I'm making a birthday cake, the tres leches chocolate. So we'll see how it goes. It's my mom's recipe, so we'll see how it goes. But I'm excited to do that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I found a hobby that I forgot it used to be my hobby, and I just remembered how much I like it. So
Did you have an easy bake oven when you were little?
yes, I had all those things, like the easy bake. I had the ice cream maker. You remember, like I used to always get those things too for like Christmas and stuff. But yeah, yes. But that was my something good this week. This week we wanted to touch on people pleasing and just saying no and having boundaries because even now and like we both agree that we still sometimes don't know when to say no or when to not do the people pleasing and we know when we're doing it.
Yeah, and usually it's by instinct. Like
Yes.
before, like somebody can ask you something before they even finish, the answer is yes. Like, so yeah, learning to set that boundary, learning to say no, and it doesn't make you selfish to do those things.
And I think that sometimes it's about asking ourselves, why are we doing the things that we do? Because sometimes we do things or we agree to things and we're dreading that, or we're like, why did we say this, or what? And I am like the main one that, especially if I'm already in the good like mood, I'm like, let's do this. And then when the day comes, I'm like, oh, I forgot that was when I was like lit.
And then you make an excuse sometimes, and it's just more when you could just say no from the start.
Yes, but I think a lot of whenever we do people please, it's about asking ourselves, what? Sorry guys, they're having a meeting next door, so if y'all hear them, we're sorry. Maybe it's because it's Thursday.
Nothing important, because everybody's gonna hear.
Y'all gonna hear everything. You're gonna hear. We're saying something. They're gonna hear us. But yeah. So I'm sure we've all been there in relationships and friendships, and it all comes down to not having boundaries.
Yes. To
not really knowing our self-worth. Because why do we people please?
Because we don't want to be perceived in a bad way.
Mm-hmm. We don't want to look bad to people. We're like, well, if I say no, what if they don't like me no more? What if they think a different thing about me? And then I think about like the times that people have told me no, and I'm just like, oh, it's okay. Like, like it's not that big of a deal. And actually, I respect people telling me no.
Yeah.
Oh, like the other day, this reminds me. Yesterday, I asked, because I was supposed to work Taco Loco tonight. So I asked one of the girls, like in her face, like, hey, can you work for me tomorrow? And she's like, I hate when people ask me in my face, because I can't like say, like,
it's hard to say no.
Yeah, it's hard to say no. And then I was like, okay, I'm gonna walk away. You text me later, text me tomorrow, and let me know what you think. I'm not gonna put you on the spot. But like that was an example of that, because that's how, if people ask me in my face, I'll be like, and then if sometimes you have to come up with a lie, like, oh, I gotta do this, or, and you know, like, but why can't we just say no?
Yeah, exactly. And I think I noticed the way that I was people pleasing is when, you know, when like you go, I remember I went to Starbucks and they like want you to tip them.
Yes.
And it would be like tip, and they would like turn the iPad around, and you're like, sure. I
think sometimes like, and even so at Taco Loco, we have that same one that turns around and now be like, just sign for me. And
I feel like that's different. Waitressing and those things are different than like.
But with to-go orders too sometimes, though. Like, I feel bad. Like it'll ask you for your tip.
Yeah.
And then they'll be like, I'll be like, just sign. But there's people who will be like, oh, you're not going to tip me.
Yes. Like, they have guts.
Yes. There's a girl that worked there. She was really sweet. But she would tell her too, she would get so many good tips. And I'd be like, girl, how do you do it? Like, she would say, I just ask, like, are you going to tip me? No, we don't want
those people were people pleasing probably.
They were people pleasing and tipping her because they're like, oh crap, they could have said no, you know. But yeah, I think like those are situations where why does it? You want to be perceived as a good person, so you would say yes.
Yes.
But just know that, I mean, we're working on it, because I think the older I get, I'm just like, I don't want to spend my time doing things I don't want to do, period. Like, that's just what it is. And I feel guilty sometimes for it. But at the end of the day, you have to look out for yourself.
Yeah. And I think, like, it's not possible to please everyone. Like, it's just not possible. So you end up being burned out or doing things you don't want to do, or, like, you can't just make people happy all the time. Mm-hmm. So.
And then think about... sorry, I just anyway, so think about a time where you tried your hardest and you still didn't get that validation. You know, like, I've done that too, like where I like do something for someone, like let's say my parents, and I think it all comes down to your childhood. I think we kind of were talking about that, and I think back about times where all I wanted to hear was like, good job, or this,
I'm proud of you, or anything.
And I never heard that. Well, I would have to literally be like, look, I did this, I did that. It would never come out of like naturally, and I don't blame anyone, you know.
Yeah.
But
I think just as kids, we need, because I feel like my parents would tell me like, I love you, I'm proud of you, but I feel like we need it more as kids than we think. Yeah, as a kid, you want that validation from your parents. So whenever you have to like work for it, what was it saying? Like, in a way, you grow up with that, so you want to please people because it goes back to childhood.
Yes, for validation. You want to get that acknowledgement that, oh, you did a good job, you're a good person, you do this. But so your parents told you they loved you when you were little like that? My parents never really did. And it was awkward if we said it.
Yeah.
Like it would be like on our birthdays only, and until now that we're like older, my mom will tell us like,
Yeah.
I love you, Mika, and my dad won't say it. And then now I'm like, it's okay, but I see why. Like to me though, I think one of my love languages. Oh, we can get into that. Is love languages. One of my love languages is words of affirmation. Like I love, like I just want, but why? Because I'm a people pleaser. I want to hear that I'm doing a good job. Why do I need those words of affirmation?
Yeah. I think my dad would more. Like my mom wouldn't. She was more. I think it's hard to open up, but with her, I feel like we did have to walk. Like I had to walk around like on eggshells, kind of like she in a good mood. Like I had to, that's where the people pleasing comes from. But yeah, my dad was more of everyday, like love you, you're my princess, everything.
Why am I gonna cry? That is so sweet. I love that, and I think that is really. And sometimes our parents don't know that actually really does matter to us. Because when we're little, we'll be like, oh, like whatever. And I think because I didn't grow up with that. I am like that too. Like I am like that with my nieces, and like with my niece and I'll be like, I love you, say it back, like say it back, like, and it's not awkward to me to say it to them. But sometimes with my parents, it is a little awkward. I'll be like, but with my dad, like it'll be his birthday or Christmas or New Year's where we'll say it.
Yeah.
But you know who's really good at it? Bridget.
Like, saying it?
Yes, like she'll hug my parents randomly. So maybe it just depends because we grew out of the same parents, but she's really good at it. Like maybe because she has kids.
Yeah.
I don't know. She's always been like this though. But she'll go up to my dad and like kiss him on the cheek, and I couldn't do that. I don't know why. I'm not like that, you know? But she'll go up to him and she'll kiss him and be like, I love you, bye. Then she'll rub his head and I'm like, I wish I could do that, but I just can't. I can't do it.
I think I used to be, though, like, at least with my dad, like, growing up.
Me too. I used to take my dad's shoes off.
Yeah, his freaking boots.
From work. them things would be sweaty, warm still.
I used to make him sandwiches. Like
Us too. We would make him like his peanut butter and jelly sandwiches and his, like for work. And then until one time Bridget made him a sandwich and he said that thing didn't have no peanut butter and no jelly. He said, don't ever make me my sandwich again.
It was just bread.
She made it so like plain. She didn't put enough in there. But yeah, I used to be really close to my dad too. Like when I was younger, like I was like daddy's girl. Like anything, like I would get in trouble by my mom. I'd be like, I'm gonna go with my dad. And my dad would scratch this is why I love getting my back scratched and like my hair played with. Because my dad used to do it. He'd be like scratching my back and I would fall asleep. But it's crazy how like there was one time where he scratched my back and then he never scratched my back again.
That is crazy.
That is so sad. Right? There was one time we took our parents' shoes off and then never put them on. Like never did it again. Oh, why is that so sad? Yes. But yeah, people pleasing, going back to that because I'm going to cry.
I thought we have ADHD because we go everywhere, but.
Well, I was doing a lot of people pleasing, like even a year or 2 years ago, like with real estate. Like if I had an agent ask me, like, can you do this for me? Because they were out of town, I would literally like find a way, even if I was working, doing something else. I would have to be like waking up extra early for them and doing they could have easily found somebody else. And it wasn't like they knew I wasn't obligated to do it. Like, and I knew that. But in my heart, I was like, I have to do this.
Yeah.
But now I'm like, no, unless I really like, I can. But if I know it's just not going to make me.
And I feel like I'm somebody who it's so hard for me to ask for help, but I'm willing to do anything for anyone. That's something to be like, damn.
Why is that? That is crazy. Cause I feel like me too. Like I don't like asking for help.
Like I'll try to find any way to get whatever I need without asking, and then I'll ask.
Yeah, but I feel like if you are people please, or you feel like you are, you can change that at any moment. Like you could literally say, all right. And that's what I said when I talk about this, I'm gonna say I'm a former.
Yes.
Because I don't want to claim that I am one, because I'm trying so hard to just stop that. I'm a Jackie pleaser, and that doesn't make me selfish, does it?
No. I noticed with my, because my son was telling me how he has the same teachers I had when I was younger, some of them, and they were telling him like, one of them told him, you should be like your mom, like she was so quiet, like just didn't bother anybody. And I told him, I was like, no, because I was a people pleaser, like I didn't want to get in trouble, like I was so, like. And I'm like, no, you do not be like that.
Aw, I'm glad you told him.
Yeah,
because that's why I think a lot of times we dim our light. It's because people tell us something's wrong with the way that we are or the way that we do things, and it starts when you're young like that.
Yeah,
that is sad.
Literally from birth, like the four agreements. What was it saying? That we're like conditioned to be how we are, and to like you tell your kids don't run, like don't do that, like. That's what being a kid is like. Do this, don't do this, and we're forming them into who they are. So a lot of us aren't even who like our authentic selves, just because we've been conditioned to be what everybody wants us to be or to people please.
And it's crazy though, because you get like sometimes it like clicks, and you'll be like, what the like why did I think that was bad? Why did I stop doing this? Why did I start doing that? But so I don't think we talked about this on the other episode, but there was a video I saw on TikTok, and it was about this guy who he like passed for a few minutes. Like he went, like, I don't know exactly like how to explain it, but he so he passed, but he came back to life. And while he was gone, he said that in that moment, all his worries went away. He just felt like he had been playing a character all along. And that's really what we're doing. It's like we're playing this character that we choose to be, and we're like, well, I do my hair like this. I do. Yeah. But honestly, we could literally change it up at any moment.
But yeah, because some days I am like, I want to be this way. But it's so much harder, though, than because there's been times where I'm like, okay, I'm not going to do this. But it's literally about breaking habits and forming new ones.
Yeah. You were saying something about the 4 agreements. What did you say? Because I thought about something else.
How we're conditioned to be.
Oh, yeah. So it starts when you're young. And I was reading a book, and it talked about how as a kid, it's called, I forgot what it's called. Well, it's a good book. Oh, How to Speak When You Talk to Yourself. And it talks about how when we're young, we believe everything. If our mom tells you or your dad tells you, you can walk, you start walking. If they tell you, you can do this, or like, oh, you can do it, you start, we grow up like conditioned like to believe everything that everyone tells us, and we're still like believing all the things that we've ever told ourselves, even
the bad things.
The bad things. And it was talking about like if you tell a kid, like it starts when they're young. If you tell a kid, well, you can't run fast enough, or you can't do this. Okay, well, I can't, and that's that. Especially when they're little, they're still not. Yeah. But if you tell them you can do it. Like you can do it. And that's what's so crazy, that like I think about like kids that grow up with that mentality that like they don't have that support, and that makes me sad. But yeah.
Yeah, because I don't know, I feel like a lot of us grow up with they would ask us, like, what do you want to be when you grow up? And things like that.
What did you want to be when you...
I feel like everything. The first thing ever probably was a nun.
No way.
Yeah, probably till I was like 8. And then after that, a teacher.
Really? I wanted to be the president.
Really?
Yes, I always told everybody I was going to be the president.
And like, why didn't you? Because, maybe somebody was like,
you can't be the president. Yeah. I was like, I'm going to be the first. And then it was funny. My dad would ask me in front of all his friends, like, Jackie, tell him what you want to, or in my family, Jackie, tell him what you're going to be when you grow up. I'm like, the president. Yeah.
Jackie 2024.
You know what? At this point, I'm going to run for president. I'm not kidding. I might.
You would have my vote, honestly.
They're like, let's watch her podcast, see how she is. Nah, I don't know about that one, but yeah, I remember I used to say that I wanted to be a lawyer. I wanted to be fashion designer.
Yeah, I think I wanted one time I wanted to be an NFL player.
Dang, girl. No, you didn't.
I probably scored it one touchdown. It was like,
You wanted, okay, that is actually hilarious. Oh,
but it would change astronaut, like it would change all the time. But back then, like we had these, like we believed it. Like, you know, like if you asked me, that's what I was going to be. And I was until it changed.
Yeah, until then we don't know that is crazy how we'll go from wanting to be everything to growing up and realizing we don't know what we want to be.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Dang. By the way, guys, we're drinking, this mug is peeling, but Modelo Micheladas.
Yep.
Did we tell them we weren't drinking no more? No, that was the one that got deleted.
It might be coming out. I think I still have it.
Oh, yes. Cheers. I was going to say we've shot 2 episodes this week, but we didn't because last week was Friday.
So, yeah. So, I think setting boundaries with people is a way to stop people pleasing. Like, just being like, this is what it is, and they have to respect it, or...
You know what, though? Sometimes it's hard to do it with family.
Yeah.
They get butthurt. They take it personal. Like, I will say, like, I love my family so much, but if I say no, they take it personal. They're like, so one of the beauties of having real estate as my career is that I would be like, oh, I have to do this. So they couldn't get mad at me because they're like, oh, we can't get mad at her for that. But I would always have to have an excuse for like, so let's say they were short staffed one day. They would be like, oh, Jackie, you can come, right? And I'd be like, no, I actually can't. I have a showing. Oh, okay. Yeah. But if I just said no, oh, gosh.
I feel like resting.
Oh, my gosh. Don't.
Fighting words.
Those are fighting words. My dad's like, you want to rest? All right, you're off for the rest of your life. That's my dad. I'm not kidding. You know him. He will be like, oh, you want to rest? All right, don't be ever asked to be scheduled ever again. So I can't say that. But yeah, you have to, it's hard to do it with family sometimes, but there's ways. And if it means saying you have something else to do, then you do. You have an appointment. I'll tell people I have an appointment. It might be a hair appointment. It might be a nail appointment. It might be a dick appointment. I'm just kidding. I'm just messing.
I was like, that's valid too.
They don't have to know what kind of appointment I'm on. Just know I'm at an appointment. Plus, you don't ask people what kind of appointments.
Yeah.
You know, we're girls. We got stuff, we don't need to talk about. But yeah, setting boundaries. Mm-hmm. How do you set boundaries? Do you think you do? Or
I'm still trying to work on that. I mean, I have gotten better with being like, no, and then saying because I don't want to. Like, no is the full sentence. No, period. Like, that's it. But especially with like guys from my past, you know, like wanting to pop up and then being like, no, I don't want, like, I don't have to have a reason. I just don't want to.
Yes. Like, if, like, let's say, guys, like, let's hang out this weekend.
Yeah.
No.
And then they'll be like, you switched up.
Oh, so what?
Like, right? I did.
Okay, let's practice. Okay. You're not a people pleaser, so let's.
Okay.
Hey, Jelly, do you think you can watch my kid this weekend? I'm going to the club.
No.
Wow, really? I can't go to the club now because you can't watch my kid. No, I feel like it's just hard. Like, I'd be like, I gotta check my schedule. And then I'd be like, I'm sorry, I can't.
I would be like, I mean, I might wouldn't mind doing that.
Okay, if you don't mind it, then
yeah, I'm like,
but you were saying about guys from your past. Oh, like even I've always been good about this, is not giving my phone number out to people that like, you know how
I've
guys,
sucked at that.
no, I've been good at, but then I'll be like, follow my Instagram. That's even worse because now they know what I do for a living.
Oh, yeah.
So I did that one time. I was outside of Target and it was so weird. I was like literally walking to my car and like this guy in the parking lot approached me. It was daytime, but I got scared. You know when you're like, and he's just like, you're like, he started like complimenting me, and then he's like, can I get your phone number? I'm like, no, but you could. I gave you my Instagram, and then I was creeped out, so I called my brother. I think I called him, or I told him at Taco Loco that day. I was like, dude, this happened to me. And he's like, so you gave him your Instagram? Now he knows where you work, where you do work, like
Where you live. Like,
yeah, it's like he knows that about everything, pretty much more about you than you could have just given him your number and not he said he could, yeah, and then he's like, he could literally go on your Instagram and find your phone number probably anyway.
Oh, yeah.
So, but I would, if a guy back then though, like, or now, like if a guy asked for my number, I'd be like, oh, I don't like giving my number out.
Yeah.
I guess people pleasing with guys is just having, those are the ones that you have to literally be direct because they don't get it. Guys, no offense, but some guys just don't get it.
They don't. They think you're playing hard to get.
Yes, that's what it, like you could literally be ignoring them, and like the thing is like sometimes we're just nice.
Yeah.
And people take it wrong.
And two, I think some guys they don't take rejection good. Like it's sad that as a woman, like I'm kind of scared to be like, no, like leave me alone or F off, you know?
Yes. They feel entitled.
Yes.
And have you ever had where you tell a guy like no and they'll like say something mean to you? Mm-hmm. They'll be like, well, F you. Bye. Yeah. You weren't even that cute.
Yeah.
Okay, goodbye, honey. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That happened, not exactly that, but I was at a bar sometime last year and I was talking to this guy. I thought we were having like a good friendly conversation. You know, I was talking about life coaching and this and that. And then I hit my vape at the time. I hit the vape and he looked at me and said, oh, just another turn off to add to my list.
Oh my God.
And I said, really? What else do I need to do to turn you off? Because the last thing I want to do is turn you on. I'm not kidding. I told him that. I was like, okay, what else do I got to do? Because I'm not. And I thought that's what pissed me off. I thought we were having like a friendly, like I really thought we were having like a friendly conversation. I thought he was actually intrigued with life coaching and everything I was saying. But the whole time he thought I was trying to seduce him. Or what did he think? Or turn him.
Some people just like, he didn't have to say that. Why?
And then this is the kicker. The kicker is, so then I was just like, oh, bye. I'm not wasting my breath with you. First of all, I'm over here giving you like wisdom that I thought you were listening to. So I just ignored him after that. And I kept hitting the vape in his face. Like I was, not in his face, but I was just like,
yeah.
And then the next day, oh my God, I hope he doesn't watch this. The next day he sends me a message on Facebook. I didn't even know him before this. Like, I never knew who he was. I go on Facebook. Honey, he had like 10, like, actually way more messages from like 2018 sending me messages.
Oh, wow.
So maybe he felt like he was trying to find something.
Yeah.
And I thought maybe he was trying to find something to dislike because of all the times I didn't respond to him. But he messaged me. He's like, oh, I'm really interested in coaching. Boy, bye.
Did you see that stuff going on with Jay Shetty?
Yes, where he was scamming.
I'm like, we are not tolerating Jay Shetty
slander.
And
it was right after we talked about how much we loved him. And they were saying that he was a fraud, but he actually made a statement.
Oh, really?
I got an email because I did.
Oh, because it was through that.
Yeah, and he said he's like, I'm sorry. I wish I could pull it up, but he was just saying how there's a lot of speculations going around, and he wanted to clear that air that he was like he's not gonna do fraudulent things.
Yeah,
and I believe that.
Yeah,
people, if you can cancel Jay Shetty, and
I know,
unless he has some really bad allegations, then okay. But
I mean, I've seen the videos, but I'm like, to me, that's not canceled. Like, maybe he had a white lie here and there. You know, to me, I'm like, he still helped a lot of people.
People say, I don't even want to say this because I don't want you to say this about Jay Shetty because I love him. But they're like, he's just like a Pinterest, repeating Pinterest quotes.
Which they said he would copy. Yeah. But I'm like, everybody cheated on their test.
Yeah.
You know, like,
but if he's spreading positivity, why? Yeah. At least he's not spreading hate.
And I think it was before, like now that he's bigger, I'm like, I don't think he's doing that anymore.
Yeah, and I just think he's not doing anything to like spread negativity and I feel like he's very open-minded because of the people he interviews. He interviews everyone, you know? He doesn't stick to a certain...
Yeah, because I was surprised when he had Lil Nas X on after, like, he was canceled. On? Yeah, like, around the time where he was canceled for all that stuff. Oh, God. And I was kind of like...
yeah.
But I think it takes a lot to be like, we're all human. Like, yeah. Like, let him tell his side or whatever he needs to say. Mm-hmm. Which I still don't like Lil Nas X, but I can respect that. Yeah. That he doesn't choose sides or he doesn't hop on the hating bandwagon and stuff.
He makes his own perception of everyone. And that's something we can all learn. I remember being younger and people would be like, oh, I don't like her because of this. And then, if someone actually really offended you, then maybe I'll be like, kind of like, maybe have a little bit of a guard. But I've never, I make my own, because I know how many times people have probably said something about me. And people didn't give me the chance because of what they've heard, you know? Yeah. But, yeah, I do love that he makes his own. He allows himself to make his own opinion about people and just lead with love.
And that's, like I feel like he's mastered not people-pleasing because he's like, I'm going to do what I'm going to do, and everybody's not going to like it, but that's me.
Mm-hmm. You know, did you watch the Megan Fox interview?
I think most of it. I didn't finish it.
I love Megan Fox.
I feel like she kind of creeps me out.
She does, but in like, I feel like she's just so smart.
Yeah.
I feel like she is a witch though.
Yeah.
She says she's witchy. Like back in her, she felt like she was a witch that was like, what is it called? What they would do to witches back then?
Like the witch hunts.
Yes.
Yeah.
And she talked about that she felt like back in her past life, that's what she was. And she does give me that vibe.
Yeah.
You know? But
I feel like I used to love her, but now I'm just like, because I was watching where she, like the blood thing, and she was like, how they would like suck each other's blood or whatever. I don't know. To me, stuff like that is weird.
Yeah, I don't think I would go that far, but I don't know. Celebrities do some things, and let's talk about it.
Yeah, because I'm like,
did he or did he not? Didn't 50 Cent say that?
Did he do it?
Did he do it? I don't know. I honestly believe he did. Did he? I'm scared. What if he comes for us next?
No, I feel like Diddy is the twisted and sick individual, and I don't know. I feel like right now Hollywood is being exposed. Like
everyone is getting exposed. Do you think Beyonce? You saw where Jay-Z? They're saying he killed. They're saying so. Becky with the good hair. You remember that song with the Becky? Well, apparently he had a mistress. And she got pregnant at the same time Beyonce got pregnant. And she was going to go on a tell-all. And she died.
What?
And they're saying that, I think Diddy said, I'm not sure if this is real because it's all been popping up on.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. Yes, let's not forget, allegedly. I think Diddy is going to come out with saying that Jay-Z and Beyonce have done worse. I'm just like... These people have got away with so many things. And this is just like the few things that we're hearing.
Yeah, this is like the tip of the iceberg. Like there's so much more. Even like I've been seeing videos of Usher and Justin Bieber and how supposedly they were groomed by him.
Yeah, and wouldn't he tell them, let me take you shopping?
Yeah, like 50 Cent.
Yes. They're just abusing their power, and that's what's sad.
And I'm like, why though? You have all this money, and you know, like
you could go get strippers or get like sex workers or hookers. You could do that, but you choose to like prey on little kids.
Yes. And I think maybe it goes down to they have so much money that they can have anything they want, but kids are off limits to everyone. You know, like that's something that a lot of people are like, no. And I think maybe they just want that power or something, and they're fucking sick.
That is, yeah. I feel like there's just so much that's been coming out that like every day it's something new.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not like it's, and maybe that's why they're trying to ban TikTok.
Yeah.
There's just so much information on there. Yeah, it's just a lot of people talk bad about Mexico and this and that. Honey, it might be even worse over here.
I'm starting to think, like, I'm starting to wake up to all of that. Like, groceries are high. You know, like housing, everything is so high right now. The food is not good for us. Like, we're bloated all the time. Everything.
That's the one thing that I did realize. So when I went to even Mexico, like you would think like, oh, I'm gonna go to Mexico, I'm gonna have stomach ache and this and that. Like I didn't, and I was eating anything and everything, but I've normalized having a stomach ache every single day.
I have to.
Like it's normal to me. When I don't, it's even weird. I'm like,
Yeah.
I have to think, what did I eat today? And I didn't get a stomach ache. You know, so there's just so much that it's just. There's it goes so deep that
I feel like we have to go into like conspiracies and stuff one day.
Yes, and we want to, and we were talking about that, but there's just so much to it, and like they say, like you can go to like France and like eat whatever and do whatever, and you won't even gain weight. You could eat pasta every day. You could.
A lot of stuff that's legal here for us to eat is illegal everywhere else in the world. Like,
you know, vapes are illegal in Mexico.
Really?
You want to know how hard it was to find a vape?
What?
Isn't that the craziest thing?
Crazy.
Like, Lexi was gonna take hers, but she didn't.
She had to throw it away.
So she didn't. She forgot hers. Like, so we were there, and then we were asking, like, does anybody know? You know, they're like, no, it's like illegal to have a vape. But she got one, but it was like on the low. Like, it was when we went to another city, and someone had to tell her where to get it. A vape, like just like a regular vape. It's not even weed.
We can get it at the gas station here.
Like, you could literally go to the bar and buy a vape. Is that not the craziest thing that Mexico is pretty like?
And they want us to think that it's freaking crazy over there and you can get slaughtered and, you know, like I'm sure it is in some parts, but.
It's happening here, but we just don't hear about it. Yeah, but I thought that was crazy because how are vapes so like normalized here, and you can go to the gas station and get them anywhere. When I tell y'all, Mexico, we could not find one anywhere. Like it was like, even I would ask like my cousins and stuff, and they're like, ugh. Like they would get like the ick from that. They'd be like, but cigarettes, they do have cigarettes, you know.
Yeah.
But the vapes are just like a big no. Isn't that so crazy?
And I'm like, maybe cigarettes are better than vapes.
Well, I guess because vapes, you're just hitting them all the time.
Yeah. But it's like electric. Like, that's what makes it.
And some of them have colors. So, and you can recharge it.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way that is better than a cigarette.
No. I'm sure they're both really bad, but. And yeah, you can hit it anywhere because it doesn't stink.
The fact that you can recharge. And then, I used to be really into vaping in 2020. Like, I would hit it every day. First thing in the morning. But I would get so lightheaded. I would have even just thinking about it makes me, like, nauseous. I would have a coffee, hit the vape, and I would be, like, anxious. Like, I would get, like, the jitters in the morning, first thing in the morning. And one time, I was like, I'm done vaping. Like, I'm done. I threw it in a cup of water. That thing was sizzling. Imagine what it did. And I left it there in my car for like 2 days, 3 days. That thing was sizzling for 3 days.
Damn.
I'm not, like, you could just hear it, like, fizzing in there. And it just makes you wonder, like.
Yeah, there's a documentary on Netflix called Jewel, I think, or something. But it's really good and insightful if, like, how they got it started vapes, like the reason that they got them out, and then how it's taken over, and then the effects and everything.
Well, think about all the kids nowadays that take them to school and you can just hit it. No one's going to know. They could literally go to the bathroom and hit it. As opposed to back then, we could if we wanted to do anything, it had to be cigarette or blunt.
Yeah, and we would smell like it, and they would know.
Yes, and now these kids are selling them in middle school.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yes, but
I just feel like everything's, I don't know, nowadays is targeting like kids, you know.
yes, that's why sometimes I'm scared to have kids, because there's only so much I can do to protect, and I'm scared to go to jail. Because I will if it comes down to it, but
Yeah.
I do get scared, like, and I see how things are just getting worse and worse, and I'm like, do I want to bring a kid out in this world?
But I feel like we still need to have kids, because if nobody has kids, then the world's gonna end.
Yeah, I told my mom that, I'm like, I don't know if I want to have kids, and she was like, well, she's like, back then before I had y'all, they would tell us the world was gonna end and it was gonna end, but it never did. Like,
Yeah.
she's like, and maybe, it's okay to have kids, but I do want to have kids.
I think it's perspective too. Like, I tell myself, like, if I didn't watch any, like, TikTok and know all these things, I would be fine, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I do notice here and there, you notice, like, your groceries are more and stuff, but I think we have to have faith that it's going to be okay. Because I think the devil wants to scare us into, put fear in us to not have kids or to be scared all the time. But that's what faith is. It's like just trusting it's going to be okay.
Just trust. And I have noticed that I've seen more people talk about Jesus and God. Like,
Yeah,
have you noticed that?
Yeah.
And I'm like, maybe everything is for, all this bad is showing the good too.
Yeah.
Because I feel like people used to never talk about like God or thank you God or thank God for anything or Jesus. And now I've seen it more and more, and I'm like, okay, see, maybe and it's good when you can see celebrities who do it.
Yeah, because I think we're starting to see, you can't deny that evil exists. Like, some people just they don't believe, in evil and stuff, but now it's like in our face to where we're like, okay, if there's bad, there's good,
Mm-hmm. Like this, no, honey, there's people who are bad, people in our life now that are bad. So you just that goes back to our topic.
People please.
I told Jelly we should have named this podcast "Two Girls with Undiagnosed ADHD." But this is literally how we have this is how it is. That's how it is.
We're gonna ramble.
Yes, and this is our ramble time. This is the time we get to let all of our thoughts out. But I think even people in your life who are just not you just know, and you keep them in your life and you keep them in your life until eventually you realize, like, you're the one getting into trouble, you're the one getting yourself in situations that you never needed to be in, but because of people pleasing, you can get in trouble. Your friends say, let's go drink, you do, and then you never know what could happen. I feel like we're getting old. They're going to show this to the kids in the health class. Can we show this to the kids in the health class? Right? Do you remember watching those videos?
Yeah.
But yeah, there's just so many things. I feel like every time we shoot an episode, there's always something new that's happening.
Yeah.
Right? Like, last week we were talking about what was it called?
Quiet on Set.
Quiet on Set. Now are they distracting us from other things?
I know.
Because these are big things that are happening. And then sometimes I'm like, that is sometimes being so famous, like, you get lost in all the glamour and this and that. But then there's things like this that happen.
Yeah. I feel like that's how they get you, though. They make it, they romanticize it, like, make it seem like it's, like all this, but behind the scenes it's not.
Yeah. So I know sometimes we look at things and we want to be that, we want to have that. Just love where we're at in the moment, because we never really know what people are going through. Well, just know that if you are a people pleaser, you can stop at any moment. You really can. It's just hard, and it is okay to do it. And I always say this: people who love you unconditionally are gonna be okay with a no.
Yeah.
Unless it's something that something huge, like, I can't think of anything right now. You told them you were going to take them to their job interview.
Yeah.
I don't know why I thought of that, but if you like, obligations are different. Like committing to something that you've committed to is a little bit different. You know, you want to be a committed person. You want to be a disciplined person, but not people pleasing. There's a difference between that.
And I think it's still good to be a helping hand and, you know, help people out when they need it or something. But if you don't want to, like, you can say no. Or if you have a lot on your plate, or some days you just don't feel like it.
And if you're not doing it out of the purest intentions and you're just doing it just because you felt like you had to, then there's someone else who can find that thing, like, will do it with the pure intentions to want to do it. But I think it is hard. Like I said, we've been there before.
Yeah.
We still are there sometimes. But one of the things I ask myself all the time is, why am I doing this? Why, like, what motivates me to do this? And it has to come within. It cannot come from, well, she really wants me to, or he really, no, it has to come from you.
Yeah, so I think, setting boundaries and working on your self-worth is, like, the best way to stop people pleasing, right?
Yes, I agree, because the reason we do it is because we want that validation. We want to feel worthy. We want to feel, like, valued, but at what cost? Mm-hmm. Our mental health, we're tired, we're exhausted. It's okay to say no. And sometimes it depends. Like, if it reminds me of that story that we did where the friend asked for money.
Oh, yeah.
And he said, give me a minute. And the friend got mad and hasn't talked to him since then. That's not a friend. So there you go. Like, if someone cuts you off because you in that moment chose yourself or your mental health, then that's not your person.
Mm-hmm. And it's okay. I feel like, because I think I say yes because I'm somebody who doesn't like confrontation or anything. So it was a way to keep the peace, like, for a long time for me. And just, but it messed up the peace within, So, so which one would you rather do at this point?
Exactly. And what you want, if you're doing things and then you don't have that peace within, you live with yourself. You're not living, these people are not living in your brain and with your heart. So that was well said, because you want that peace within. And I talked about a book last week, and it was the book called Worthy. So it goes back to this. That book talks about that, and it's just about feeling worthy and knowing that, hey, I'm worthy even if I say no, and even if I accomplish this, even if I don't accomplish this, even I feel worthy within. So you don't attach yourself to things. Oh my God, we could go into that, but we'd be here forever. But yeah, because even we do bad things out of people pleasing. Mm-hmm. Oh, you want to go get drunk?
Yeah.
I don't want to. Oh, but come on, we never hang out. And then, before you know it, you're hungover the next day.
You have anxiety.
When you didn't even want to sometimes, But yeah, it's something that we can all, I feel like we all do it.
Yeah.
Right? I'm trying to think of a person that I know that doesn't do it.
I think to some capacity, like, some people might do it with their boss, or some people might do it with their partner. Yeah. And so I think in some way.
Like, maybe not with you specifically, but maybe at work, they're like, But I do appreciate people who literally tell me, like, I had asked somebody one time, can you do this? And they were like, no, I'm sorry, I just have a lot on my plate. And I said, oh, I'm so sorry for even asking. I felt bad, but I appreciated that.
Yeah.
That didn't stop me. Actually, it did. I never asked them again. But I understood it, though, because I'm like, they might have too much on there. I'm not going to add more to their plate. And I know what that feels like. Shit, the only reason I'm asking you is because I have a lot of mine. So I get it. So, So, yeah, just know that. And then when you're young, we're in our older 20s, early 30s. And when I was younger, I would say yes to everything.
Yeah, I would too.
And in that moment, maybe I didn't really want to do it, but I had FOMO, fear of missing out, and I didn't want to miss out. Now I'm like, oh, We saw the same people at the same place doing the same thing. I'm good.
Yeah.
But I still go out sometimes. I ain't gonna lie. I sometimes wish I had people tell me these things though.
Yeah.
You know, like I wish someone would have been like, "Why are you such a like? Don't feel the need to please everybody." Like no one's ever told me that.
Like nobody told me that either.
Right? Because we're all so used to it, and if some people they benefit from us being people pleasers, so they're not gonna tell us that, you know, or they don't realize that.
Or they don't realize that you don't want to do it. Or,
yes, but I don't think anyone's really has ever told me that. Like, why are you such a people pleaser?
Yeah.
But at the end, it can be beneficial sometimes because being a people pleaser can be you commit to things, and because you people please, like at the gym.
Oh yeah.
Like I committed, now I can't disappoint them, so now I have to go.
Yeah.
But like I'm like, okay, that's beneficial right there. Sometimes when it's for your highest, for your good.
Yeah.
But yeah. So, as your sisters from another mister, we're telling you right now, it ain't worth it. Don't do it.
I feel like a lot of that happens too now with like the media, like how do I say? Like a lot of people won't speak on their beliefs or I don't know. Like the media has one thing like that you're supposed to do, and if you disagree, like a lot of people are people pleasers and they like, well, I'm not going to speak on what I believe or literally everything.
Well, how long I want to tell a short story, but how long do we have? We've been shooting for a while, huh?
We've been shooting for like an hour.
Okay. Well, that like goes back to I used to work somewhere and I went to like a Black Lives Matter protest. Didn't do anything bad and I got in trouble for it. They called my job and told them, you know, your employee was yelling like F the police, which I didn't. And I made it very clear that I was not going to say that.
Yeah.
Because I was with my brother and I forgot who I was with. But I made it very clear. I was like, I'm not going to say that. That's not true. Not all the police. Fuck racist police. Yes. I'll say that if you're racist. But I went to the protest and I didn't think anything of it. It was in Asheboro. Like, it was like, you know, it was a peaceful protest. I didn't think anything of it. The next day, I get called in and they're like, hey, we got a call from someone at the police department saying that you were out there yelling this and that. I said, no, I wasn't. And technically, like I started to feel bad. I started to be like, why did I do that? Why did I do that? Mm-hmm. And now, I was 22. This was like, what, 2019? When that happened? Around there. So I was like 23 and I started questioning myself, like, why did I do that? Dang, why couldn't I just not do it? Yeah. And then now I'm like, dude, I didn't hurt anybody. Yeah. That is what I believe. Like, I was hurt. I mean, for the situation, I was upset about the situation, but obviously nothing, I'm not going to fight people over it. That's not what I was doing. I was just being in support of the cause that was happening. And like at the time though, like it was like a big deal. Like we weren't allowed to talk about it. I wasn't allowed to post about anything on my Facebook anymore about it.
Wow.
And now that I look back, I'm like, dude, I was a fucking adult. Technically at 23, why did I care so much? I was trying to please them. I didn't want to stir up the drama. Oh my gosh, I don't even want to say this, but I am going to say this. I couldn't say things like that, but there was somebody else in the office who could talk about the opposite opinion, but it was fine.
Oh, wow.
So that's when I started getting upset. I'm like, oh, how come she can say these things, but I can't, you know? So it was something, and that was one of the reasons where I started to just, like, not want to be around that environment, because that's just, to me, I'm like, we should all be open to our own opinion. Like,
I feel like we have freedom of speech for a reason. Like, even if people's opinions are different, everybody should be able to say what they want to say.
Yes, and if I understand, if you're hurting somebody, if you're causing, like, no one wants to represent their business that way. Like, if you're hurting and being abusive and doing this to people, no. But if you're not doing anything to hurt anybody and you're just have an opinion
in a peaceful protest, Like,
yes. And I would understand if I was breaking windows and doing,
yeah.
okay. But that did not happen. And I remember being so hurt. I remember journaling about it and I was crying and I just felt so low. I was like, why did I do that? Like now I caused all this drama. And it was kind of a big deal at the time to me. I felt like everyone knew. Someone stopped my dad. My dad went to a bar near Taco Loco to go get some beer at the time or something. I forgot what he did. And someone stopped my dad and was like, did you know your kids are racist or they hate the police?
Oh my God.
And they stopped my innocent dad. And my dad comes back and he's like, this lady just stopped me at Lumina and told me that I have kids that don't like
the police.
Because my brother was there too. But you know what? My parents were always just like, they were like, it's fine, go. Just don't get hurt, but like do whatever. But that's what I appreciate about my parents. They always let us have our own opinion.
Yeah.
And I thought, if my dad and my mom are okay with this, then why the hell am I so worried about what somebody else thinks? Oh, that just makes me so mad that even happened, but I learned from it. All right, guys. Well, we could have talked about this a little, but I'm just going to leave it at that. When the drinks start hitting. All right, guys. I think that's
it. I feel like it was everywhere, like always. Nothing new, but I get more comfortable now, right?
Mm-hmm. I feel like you are.
Yeah, like I'm just like.
And we learn, like, we'll look at old videos and we see where we could have done a little bit better. Yeah. But you know what? This is like a regular conversation, so.
Yeah, I feel like this has, because I'll be like, what do people want to hear? But I'm like, I'm just gonna be myself. Like that's part of the people pleasing, like saying something interesting or that. But I'm like, we're just here to speak what's on our mind, and yeah. So make sure you hit that subscribe button if you haven't yet.
Follow us on TikTok and Instagram. I think Instagram we post more updates of when we're posting and getting things out for you guys. We've missed you. We have an episode coming very soon. And then we're back on the consistency train.
Yes. We're going to get back on it.
Yeah, we're on it. And we appreciate you guys who have been asking about where's our videos, asking if we still have a podcast. And that means people care. So thank you guys for watching. We love you and we appreciate you. And we'll see you next time. Bye.